What is up guys, Deadset here. The reworked Tal Rasha set finally brings justice to its powerful namesake by raining elemental devastation from the skies. Take a look at how to build one of these. The basic strategy of the build involves the rotation between spells of different elements, which in turn delivers a Meteor of the corresponding damage type. The individual spells also deliver utility of their own. While Hydra is strictly a damage dealer, Energy Twister is used as means to group up enemies, and Blizzard is a strong crowd controller of its own. Shock Pulse is a signature ability chosen for its excellent range and safety, bringing you the potent proc of the Focus and Restraint rings. The Wizard mainstays Magic Weapon and Force Armor remain as steady buffs in the background, helping your character survive and deliver to his maximum potential. This is the build I use in the demonstration. To obtain the damage bonus of the Bastions of Will set with Focus and Restraint, it is necessary to use a primary ability in the build. The skill of choice for that purpose is Shock Pulse, which also grants you a screen long range through the Piercing Orb rune. While the oscillation might seem unreliable at first, the big hitbox of the orb brings consistency to your Lightning Tal Rasha procs. The primary damage dealer of the build and your source of fire Tal Rasha procs comes in the form of Hydra, with the AoE-oriented Mammoth Hydra. Doubled by the Serpent Sparker and sped up by Tasker and Theo, your summons will bring fiery devastation in abundance. At a cheap 15 arcane power cost and with excellent 15-second uptime, Hydra brings you the best balance between damage and resource efficiency, allowing you to freely cast your crowd controllers. Don't be afraid to refresh the Hydra accordingly as the Rift layout demands. The Season 3 Bracer, Renslaor's Folly, brings a new source of crowd control to Wizards, drawing enemies towards your Energy Twister casts. The spender nature of Energy Twister frees you from the cooldown reduction requirements of the traditional pulling tool Black Hole, but at the cost of not affecting elites. Even so, the utility of drawing entire trash packs on a single spot for the incoming Meteor devastation is a highly recommended option. It is made even easier with the static Wicked Wind rune, which will be the source of your Arcane Tal Rasha proc. A second crowd controller and your source of the Cold Tal Rasha proc is found in Blizzard. At a hefty 40 arcane power cost, it is the most gluttonous skill in the build, but is well worth it for the strong freezing effect of the Frozen Solid rune. It is an excellent follow-up to a Wicked Wind pull, and will be your solitary source of control over elites. Do not hesitate to use it, as none of your other spenders need recasting with the same frequency. Magic Weapon sneaks its way into yet another wizard build, being a strong steroid of 20% damage bonus, unconditional and with no drawbacks, and with excellent uptime to boot. Force Weapon is very hard to pass up. The protective spell of choice for the long-range casters is Energy Armor, and for good reason, shielding you from the inevitable damage spikes in high greater rifting environments, like no other armor spell does. Force Armor is even more necessary in this glass cannon setup with Focus and Restraint. This concludes the overview of the active skills. Now let us look through the passives. While it is less reliable than its cheat death counterparts for other classes, Unstable Anomaly is still another chance at not facing the defeat screen. At an agreeable 60-second cooldown, it will become a constant companion to your Greater Rift pushes, preventing the occasional misstep. Blur stands as another protective layer in this generally glassy wizard setup, offering a sizable 17% decrease in damage taken. It is a solid choice if you want to minimize death timer frustration. With few stable options for resource gain on gear, Wizards usually devote a passive or two for arcane power management. This resource-intensive setup is no exception, and it is highly recommended that you include Astral Presence in the setup to offset arcane power loss from Energy Armor and to add passive regeneration. Last but not least, Elemental Exposure synergizes perfectly with the multi-element nature of the build. You will constantly benefit from the full force stacks as you rotate through the elements at your disposal. While the build laid out so far is a very solid choice, several notable variations exist. Serpent Sparker, the recommended weapon for the build, can be sometimes troublesome to find. In such cases, Or if you don't enjoy the summoner gameplay in general, you can temporarily replace Hydra with Meteor Shower and use Sunkeeper or the crafted Devastator instead. This necessitates that you switch to Tal Rasha's Grasp and Cinder Coat in the gear. If you hurt for mobility, you can swap Energy Twister for Teleport Calamity and replace Renslaor's Folly for Ancient Spartan Defenders. If you go this route, it is also recommended that you switch to the Unity and Halo of Release rings and replace Force Armor with Ice Armor Crystallize. This tankier setup is better at engaging and disengaging the enemy, but demands better density than the regular spec. Deviating into the Stunning Teleport rune will bring more crowd control and stability to your arcane power, in which case you can replace Unstable Anomaly for Illusionist and Astral Presence for Arcane Dynamo. The constant use of a primary skill will bring you flashes of insight at a very steady rate, and you will enjoy some additional damage. A fine option for a primary if you spec into Arcane Dynamo is Electrocute with Arc Lightning. While it brings you to melee range and will demand a tankier setup, the speed at which it builds up Dynamo stacks is unparalleled. That about covers it for the build. Now let us go over the items. The heart and soul of this Meteor-centric build is the Tal Rasha set, whose full bonuses are best obtained by wearing 6 of the 7 available pieces, leaving your ring slots open for powerful jewelry combinations. While this guide will not delve into the issues of specific breakpoint chasing, attack speed is an important stat for Hydra damage, and a general recommendation on gear is to have 3 sources of 7% increased attack speed, for example on the gloves, chest and weapon. This way, even with a mediocre Tasker and Theo, you will reach a comfortable 2 attacks per second from the Hydras, without sacrificing other main stats. The suggested set pieces to wear are the Tal Rasha helm, chest, belt, pants, amulet and offhand, leaving your glove slot open for the Tasker and Theo. Rolls-wise, it is recommended that you obtain Meteor skill percentage on the helm and seek out Hydra skill percentage on the chest and shoulders. Since this is a purely spender-based spec with mostly moderate resource costs, cooldown and resource cost reduction are not in demand, and you can devote your other stats to crit bonuses and toughness. Note that the 4-piece Tal Rasha doubles your protection against elements, with the exception of poison and physical. As such, these single resistances are recommended in the secondary stats of your gear. Taking the aforementioned Tal Rasha pieces allows you to drop the Tal Rasha Grasp for Tasker and Theo gloves. Since Hydras count as pets, you will enjoy an immense boost to their attack speed and, as they benefit from the Tal Rasha 6-piece damage buff, a significant increase in overall output as well. As previously mentioned, seek out a glove with high attack speed alongside crit chance and crit damage. Introduced in patch 2.2, the new best friend of the Tal Rasha set are the Nilfgaard's Boast boots. Doubling the damage of meteors by default, and with the potential to triple your meteor damage against 3 or less enemies. These boots are non-negotiable for a Tal Rasha wizard. Naturally, seek out meteor percentage bonus alongside the usual primary stats. The Season 3 Bracer, Renslaor's Folly, transforms the often overlooked Energy Twister skill into a potent source of crowd control, pulling enemies up to 30 yards away on top of the Wicked Wind cast. Preparing a pack for control through Blizzard and paving the way for the Meteor onslaught, these bracers are an excellent new asset, even if their pull does not affect elites. The shoulder slot lacks a necessary legendary or set piece, and is free for experimentation as you see fit. You can add a bonus damage source on top by including the freshly buffed Deathwatch Mantle. Alternatively, take another cheat death, however unreliable with its low proc rate, from the Pauldrons of the Skeleton King, found in Act 1 bounty caches. Whatever your choice is, aim to roll Hydra percentage damage alongside toughness stats. As previously mentioned, patch 2.2 improves upon the Bastions of Will set by transforming Focus and Restraint into a powerful and consistent source of damage. As long as you alternate between a primary and spender attacks, you will boost your damage with 2 separate 50% multipliers. Dropping the Unity Ring, while noticeable, is somewhat offset by the 4-piece mitigation bonus of Tal Rasha. Even so, Keep the newfound frailty of your character in mind, and always maintain distance and crowd control. To complete the Hydra aspect of the build, Serpent Sparker will double the number of Hydras you can have active at any time. With their damage boosted by the Tal Rasha 6-piece bonus, your trusty summons will hold a devastating AoE frontline. If you have troubles finding a Serpent Sparker, switching to the Meteor variation outlined above and using a good Sunkeeper or crafted Devastator is your next best option. Your 3 jewelry sockets will be taken up by the legendary gems Zeiss Stone of Vengeance, Bane of the Trapped, and Gem of Efficacious Toxin. The first 2 are extremely powerful, as they are their own multipliers in your total damage calculation. Toxin makes up for its comparatively smaller damage boost by being there all the time. Unlike Bane of the Powerful, which, while still a viable choice, tends to run out during long and important fights, like the Rift Guardian. A replacement for Toxin in the melee fighting teleport variation of the build is Pain Enhancer. You will often be within the 20-yard gem requirement, gaining the attack speed bonuses from which your Hydras will benefit. In the Paragon points, I max out movement speed and then intelligence in the core section, crit chance, crit damage and then attack speed in the offense, armor, resist all, and then life percentage in defense, and area damage, resource cost reduction, and then life on hit in utility. And this is it for the Tal Rasha Wizard build. I leave you with a few more minutes as I finish off this Greater Rift 51. I hope you enjoyed the guide, and if you did, I would appreciate your subscription to my channel. See me live at twitch.tv/thedeadset, talk to me on Twitter and Facebook that I linked below, and I'll see you guys next time.